Good morning. My name is Sean Dexter and I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily analysis video. It's a beautiful day outside. The birds are chirping, the sun is out, the sun is bright. But I'll have to leave you guys very soon to get out there and buy my vegetables as soon as possible before they all run out. Man, this corona thing is really beginning to freaking annoy the hell out of me, man. It's actually even getting into my dreams, you know. Last night I had this corona is entering my dreams in like an apocalyptic sense. I had this weird dream where I was on a plane and I'm rationing out my food to the rest of the passengers because nobody else had food, and I'm giving away all my food. You know, I'm like, here's 100 grams for you. I'm actually giving people food based on weight. Okay, and I wake up and I'm thinking, Sean, what the hell are you doing, man? You need the food. You guys have no idea how hungry I am all the time. Like, but I don't know. And I'm giving out all my food in my dreams. Holy, this corona thing. Okay, anyways, here we have the Mango Research Dashboard. Let's keep it short and sweet, guys. Bitcoin has had some major moves to the upside, okay, over the past week now, I do believe. But look at this. The trend is still down, all right? And you guys know what happened the last time we did not follow the signal. It gave us the short signal all the way at 9,200, okay, followed by the Mango Vine giving us a short signal around 8,500. So we could have caught a massive move if we just follow our own signals. But hey, it's easier said than done, right? We did catch some really good moves recently, and that's what matters, right? Taking those sure, confident plays that you're ready for and then making them count by not giving it all back to the market. And hey, I wasn't ready for the big short play while BTC broke down from around 8,500. Why? Because I was spending time with my family, with Krisha, right? It was her birthday. We were zoning her birthday out in a week and making her feel special for the entire week. You don't want to be spending time managing a short position and then sacrifice these special moments with your loved ones, because let me tell you guys something, and I've said this before, when you have to pick between a trade and your relationships, whether it be with your friends or your family, always pick your relationships. You don't want to be one of those old, rich, lonely traders at the end of this journey, okay? Journey before destination, and during the journey you got to enjoy yourself. That's why we adopt the Mango way, the stress-free way. And look at me, I'm supposed to keep this video short, but I'm here ranting to you guys. Alright, so we have some interesting things to talk about with Bitcoin. I decided to do this video early for you guys because apparently this is a time slot that a lot of you guys will prefer. Thank you for letting me know in the comments down below. Please go ahead, and if there are more of you who prefer this timing as well, let me know, so I'll keep doing it. It is a little it's a little hectic for me because I have to reschedule my entire routine. As you guys know, I'm looking so haggard right now because it doesn't fit into my routine. But I will reshuffle my routine for you guys if this is what you guys prefer. Okay, so we do have something special going on with Bitcoin. I do want to talk about before the 4-hour candle closing in 15 minutes. I did retake my short position. So yesterday when I left you guys off, we talked about how I was in a short position from 6,650. Okay, I even talked to you guys about my invalidation point. And let's switch on over to Bitcoin. And what's this chart I was playing with? So I got out of that position and I reshorted again this morning, and I'll talk to you guys about the mindset about that and why I decided to take that position. And I'm already taking some profits, and now you guys might be thinking, wait a minute, Sean, that's against your style, and I'll explain that too. Okay, so quick overview of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to give you an update on what position I've retaken today. I'm going to be talking to you guys about my mindset getting out of my trade yesterday and why I decided to get back in today and why I'm taking profits earlier than usual. Now, I still have a portion of my trade, and again, I'll explain that too. Okay, so that's the overview of what we're going to be talking about today. I'll try and keep this video as concise as possible. So here we have the 4-hour, right? And in yesterday's video, I do believe we were playing, let me pull out a tab, was it? Okay, so we were somewhere around here where I took my short position, right? And I had a position of 6,650-ish on average, and I was looking for Bitcoin to essentially have follow through to the downside. We did not have this broadening wedge yesterday. I did not show this to you guys at the very least. I don't believe I did, but we were looking at this green zone. My invalidation point was if we closed a 4-hour above this green zone. Now over here we have the 30-minute chart, so I do believe we closed a 4-hour right over here. This candle was when we closed that 4-hour above the green zone, right? And it wasn't convincing for me at all, and I've been in this position before, and this is the mindset I want to talk to you guys. I've been in the other side of this position before, by the way, where I'm waiting for a candle to close above a zone so I could go long. Okay, and I was like, you know what, man, I feel like this is one of those situations where I go long and then the market dumps on me later. But you can't play it that way, okay? You can't play expecting a trap, okay? I had a thesis, I had my invalidation point. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm invalidated. I don't care what I think now. I don't want to find excuses to stay in my trade, regardless of how strongly I feel about it. It's not looking good over here at all for the bulls, in my opinion. But I'm going to stick to my thesis, because in the long term, if I start falling into those habits, I'm going to get wrecked, okay? So I got out of my trade, and here's the beautiful thing, right? All I had to do was be a little bit patient. Sometimes you can be a little bit patient, especially if you start getting a sync of what the market is doing. And look at that, guys. The market actually came down and let me exit at my break-even point. In fact, if I'd waited a little bit more, I could have probably exited at a slight profit, right? Came all the way down to 6,600, and my average was around 6,650. But I didn't want to take any risks, so that I'm not feeling the risk right now. Let's put it that way. I'm not feeling like taking risks, unnecessary risk at the very least, okay? So giving you guys my view or my feeling on the market right now, I'm not feeling as confident as I would have or as I did over here, okay? As soon as all of this started happening, it's looking like a lot of effery, especially with what's going on in traditional markets. The traditional markets are doing exactly now what I expected them to do, but we'll get on to that. If you have time, we'll talk about that too. But traditional markets hadn't opened yet, right, when we were playing with this. But going back to what we were talking about, so then right after, you guys can see what Bitcoin was doing, pretty much following this trend line over here, broke to the downside, not seeing follow through, but then using this broadening wedge as resistance, right? We've been literally smacking against it. And what does that do essentially, guys? That is putting in a rising channel again, which we could break down on, right? The rising channel is typically a bearish formation. Once you break down, you see basically a trend change, and these are concepts we talk in the Mango Seed program. I really recommend, if you guys are interested in true trend analysis, please watch those modules on trend analysis, advanced trend analysis. Do not skip on over to the stuff you guys think you need to know. The concepts in there is, you need to know all those concepts, okay, to be able to understand every side of the market. All right, cool. So going back to what we were talking about, yeah, so we put in this rising channel, and this morning, okay, so last night in the C chart and the Grove chart too, we were talking about how I was looking to probably re-short, okay, my short will be reactivated based on the 4-hour candle close. However, it did not reactivate, and I was waiting for the next 4-hour candle close, which would have been later in the night for me, and I'd fallen asleep before that. But when I woke up, the market gifted me, because when I woke up, the market was sitting, and this is where it gets confusing, guys, okay? This is where I really want to emphasize how you need to differentiate between lower time frames and higher time frames, because the market was doing something really interesting, and we were getting mixed signals between the lower time frames and the higher time frames. Essentially, the higher time frames are saying, hey, we're going to see continuation to the upside. The lower time frames are saying, hey, we're going to break down from here. So what do you go with, right? And when I say high time frames here, guys, I'm talking about the 12-hour and the daily, considering we've been playing with the freaking 30-minute. The daily has now become high time frame, but the weekly trend is still down. So what are we talking about now? The macro trend is down. The high time frames is saying, hey, continuation to the upside, and the low time frames is saying, hey, we may break down. So that kind of uncertainty makes me a little bit hesitant on taking strong conviction positions without taking profits and letting my profits ride. Okay, that's why I took profits. So I re-shorted this morning, and where did the market let me short? The market let me short higher, right? Look at where we opened. We opened at 6,764. So I was able to short at around 6,750-ish. So that's $100 higher than yesterday's short, right? And I want to mention this, not because I want to be like, oh my god, I got a better position. I want to tell you guys that, hey, I was rewarded for following my rules. Now, yes, I could have stuck in my position and been stubborn, okay, and maybe it would have dumped and I would have felt proud of it, right? But because, I'm not saying because it did, but this is a situation where sticking to your rules allowed you to get a better position. So I got in at around 6,750. But now look at this. The thesis was different. The trade setup was completely different compared to yesterday. If I'd stuck to my rules, stuck to my trade from yesterday and just been stubborn about it, this trade would have been the same trade as yesterday, right? And it's hard to differentiate it. This is why I always say, guys, if you are invalidated on your trade, like I got invalidated yesterday, it closed above this green zone over here on the 4-hour, simply get out. And if you still want to get back in, get in. That's fine. There's no shame in that. Just get back into your trade if you really feel that strongly about it, right? most of you will not get back into your trade. And that says something, that you don't like the trade. You're just being stubborn. You're afraid to lose. You're afraid to feel that pain. Let me tell you something, guys. This journey with trading, it's all about pain. It's all about pain. Embrace it, all right? You can't have only wins and feel all that joy without feeling pain. If you start embracing the pain of taking those losses, those wins will be a lot more. They'll feel a lot more, they'll mean more, because your losses will be small. All right, so embrace the pain, take the losses, and then get back in if you have to. Take the loss again if you have to, man. But always just follow your plan set out by yourself before you won the trade. So my plan was to get out. I got out and I got back in. Done. Right now, let me tell you guys, man, so much of a rant already. We're about to close the 4 hours and 7 minutes. Let me tell you guys why my thesis is a little different. When I started my trading this morning, I started the daily, right? Let's start with the high time frame. Started the daily right over here, and we're seeing that the daily closed above this green zone over here. Very strong. More importantly, the daily also closed above the 21 EMA. Very strong, right? Now again, this also reminded me of the situations where I have been bull trapped, where I waited for the daily to close above or below the 21 EMA while I was playing the bull side of things all the way back during the 10K consolidation area, and then I got bull trapped and I just got dumped on later, right? Now, you can never play for a bull trap. You can never play for a bull trap. You can never play for a bear trap. By the way, do not get that into your head. People ask me this question all the time. Sean, how do you play a bull trap? How do you play a bear trap? You don't play it. You just get trapped, all right? You follow your rules. No matter what, always follow your rules. You do not know ahead of time whether something is a trap or not unless you're the person creating the trap. All right, okay. So don't try to be a smart ass with this. Do not, because there will be the one time where you think it's a trap and you stay in your position and then something bad could happen. Okay, so you don't want to take those unnecessary losses. It starts eating into your psychology as well, and it makes you doubt yourself as a trader. So the daily 21 closed over very strong. 12 hour also had a very strong close. That's high dollar horizontals over here. You can see that. Look at that close. It was defended. We closed above this horizontal over here at around 6,691. Very strong. But we do have Kijun resistance, something that we have been playing against. So that is something to keep in mind. This does suggest that, hey, even though the bulls are trying to defend this level, the daily levels are also getting very defended. We may come and use the Kijun as resistance and test this area here at 6,307, and that was a target for yesterday, right? Do you guys remember? Okay, now let's go on to the 4 hour and see what's going on over there. When I looked at the 4 hour, this looked very weak to me. You look at the oscillators as well. You're seeing this get pushed up, right? But it looks very tired. It looks like it doesn't want to come down. You're seeing bearish divergence over here. You're seeing stochastics cross on over to the downside. This is not giving me confidence at all for this to go further upside, right? Otherwise, I would have been glad to perhaps take a long over here. So I was getting mixed signals. 4 hours telling me it wants to come down. This was around 6,750. So I was like, okay, this likely wants to come down. Go on over to the 1 hour. What does 1 hour tell me? Same thing, very tired. This looks like distribution, right? You have your very typical M-like formation with what you guys can see right over here. Broadening wedge broken out to the downside, forming a channel against the broadening wedge, and now we just broke on over to the downside, and we are seeing that continuation, right? Where did I take my profits? I took my first profits at the very least, and now I'm in a risk-free trade. That's how I'm playing it. I'll go ahead and delete this. You guys don't need to see this. Okay, where I take my profits? I took my profits on the 10K. Okay, this is a typical play as well, by the way, for the bull side, where you close over the 21 EMA, you test the 10K, and then you see further continuation, where we may come and test 7,180, which is the daily Kijun, and create a higher high as well. Remember, we have a wick going up to 7,141 on Bitstamp. We also have a, I do believe on BitMEX, it's only 6,900. So BitMEX is only 6,900, and the Kijun is at 7,074. Okay, so I would rather play the Kijun 7,072, and the wick over here, the high 6,994. So I would go with BitMEX on this, guys. I would go with BitMEX. The Tenkin, however, on BitMEX, this is where it makes it confusing, right? The Tenkin is pointing all the way down to 6,411. So did I take my profits a bit too early? Maybe I did, but I took my profits. So right now I'm not going to go ahead and rethink or redoubt any of that and try and get back in or any of that. I'm just going to let the rest of the trade follow through as a trend trade if I get that breakdown. That being said, on the 4 hour, we do have the Tengen coming in at around 6,287ish, the 21 EMA coming at 6,370. But the thing is, if we break and come and test all of these levels over here, we'll be taking out this low over here, and that would actually make me think that we come all the way down to the Kijun over here at 5,677. We may actually get a C-span trade over here, if you guys know what I'm talking about, but that will only get triggered when we see a 4-hour candle close underneath the Tengen. It will also line up with us losing this really important wick over here at 6,443. So I'll be keeping my eye on that. The bull case of this narrative is that, hey, we saw that bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame, we got the move, and we're finding that support on the 10 SMA on the 4-hour, right? So that would give me confidence for the bull side if we actually get picked up over here and start closing candles about 6,810ish, right, somewhere around there. No, actually can bring this down a tad bit lower. If we close candles above here, then I do think that we're going to make our way further to the upside, perhaps all the way up to 7,100, 7,200. However, guys, I'm telling you that my overall thoughts on this market is down. Like, the weekly needs to change for me to feel confident, and for the weekly to change, I'm looking for weekly candles above 6,900. okay, basically start closing candles above the Tengen, and I'll feel confident again. You'll find bullish on Mango again. Until then, I'm not going to be playing this very aggressively to the upside. Perhaps things can change before that in terms of the daily trend being a lot more confidence inducing. Right now it is not. I think that this entire rally was basically shorts being pressed out of the position, shorts basically feeling the pressure and covering their position. What do shorts do when they have to cover their position, guys? They have to buy back into the market, right? They have to essentially say, hey, you know what, I am not feeling good about my short position, and your short position is you essentially having sold into the market. Okay, so let me explain this for a quick second, because I do understand some people struggle with understanding exactly what it means to short. And by the way, I do have an article where I've used a very simple analogy to explain shorting as well as a short squeeze. Simply type on Google Mango research short squeeze. Okay, just type that and you'll find our article. Basically, I've written it down very clearly for you guys. Read it. I've used a PlayStation 4 and how somebody borrows a PlayStation 4 from a friend, and how he gets short squeezed out of his position, blah blah. So please go ahead and read that. You'll get a very strong understanding. But essentially, okay, to be very brief, when you're shorting, what you're really doing is you're borrowing an asset from the exchange, okay, at a high price of, let's say, $100, okay, then you are selling it immediately. And you're collecting that $100. Now your goal is for that asset to go down in price to, let's say, $90. Then you take your $100, right, and you buy that asset back. But hey, you need only $90 to buy that asset back, right? You buy that asset back with your 90, you keep your 10, and you give back the asset to the exchange. Remember, you borrow the asset from the exchange, okay? You don't have the asset. That's the essence of a short sell. You're borrowing Bitcoin at, let's say, 7,000, okay? Now you're waiting to buy it back off. I missed a step there. You borrow it from the exchange at 7,000, you sell it immediately. Now you are short one Bitcoin, but you have $7,000 of USD, okay? But hey, you still owe that one Bitcoin to the exchange. The exchange doesn't care how you get that one Bitcoin. You can buy it up higher, you can buy it back lower. They don't care. They just want their one Bitcoin, okay? So if it goes down to 6,900, you get to buy it back lower, keep your $100, because hey, you have 7,000, you get to buy it at 6,900, right? Give the one Bitcoin back to the exchange, and they are happy, you are happy. But hey, in a short squeeze where shorts are being pressured out of their position, okay, this could be because they're getting eaten to profits, or they're actually going to losses. So let's assume that you short a Bitcoin at 7,000, okay? Essentially, you have borrowed one Bitcoin from the exchange at $7,000, correct? Now the exchange is like, okay, you've borrowed Bitcoin and you sold it. We don't care about that. All we care about is our one Bitcoin. We want our one Bitcoin back. So if Bitcoin starts going higher and higher and higher, you are under pressure suddenly, because you have to buy back that Bitcoin, but you have only $7,000 in your pocket. So you have to get $200. Let's say Bitcoin's at 7,200, right? You have to get $200 from elsewhere. You have to get $200 from your own bank account. You have to borrow it from your mom. You have to borrow it from your dad. You have to borrow it from your friend. You're under pressure to buy it back, and buy it back fast before it keeps going higher. So that's what I mean by these rallies are simply sometimes shorts end up shorting far too low, expecting Bitcoin to go to 1,000 immediately, expecting Bitcoin to go to 3,000, right? So when they short too low and they feel the pressure, what happens? They end up buying back, right? But the thing is, guys, they won't get to buy back at the position that they intended on, because the shorts who were early to the party right over here, and they borrowed Bitcoin at 9,000, right? They borrowed Bitcoin at 9,000 and they sold in the market. They are the ones who are buying it back over here at 4,000, 3,000. And who are they buying it from? They're buying it from the late short sellers. The late short sellers are the guys who are now selling into the market now, right? Borrowing it from the exchange and selling into the market. So what's happening here? We have an exchange. Oops, let me go ahead and make this a little smaller, delete everything on the screen. Okay, so the short guys sold over here. This is still too thick. The short guys sold over here, right? But they bought from the exchange and they sold over here, but now they are buying over here. But who are they buying from? They are buying from the new shorters who also borrowed. So essentially what could have essentially been happening, okay, we don't know, this is a speculation, but think about the scenario. You guys need to think about all scenarios, guys. We have a lot of people who are of course getting out of the position because they're scared, but you also have people who are selling into the market because they're FOMOing. They're FOMOing into more sells, right? They are trying to short to just drive the market down low, not drive the market down low, hope for the market to go down low so they can buy back here. It's the same thing as kind of longing the top, you can short the bottom, right? And now what do these guys have to do? They have to buy back their position before they take two losses. And where do they end up buying back? They buy back here. Okay, they shorted over here and they buy back higher, okay? And then these guys over here also end up doing the same thing, and just a cascading effect, because when they buy back high, they're applying upward pressure onto the market. Again, I don't want to go into too much detail with this. If you guys are in the Mango C program, you guys know which module to be watching. We talk about all of this in the leverage trading module. We talk about the mindset you need. We talk about institutional order flow before that as well. Please go ahead and watch all of it. Do not skip modules. All of this will give you a holistic understanding of the market. We are not about just trend lines and trend indicators and all that nonsense. We understand the core concepts of the market that matters, all right? So let's go ahead and talk about what we are talking about. Basically technical analysis before I went off on another rant. Jesus, if you guys like the rant, let me know in the comment down below. If you don't, let me know either way, so I'll stop with the rants. Right now, Bitcoin, if it retakes this 10 SMA right over here, guys, that will be confidence inducing. But right now it looks like it opened underneath the 10 SMA. I hate these situations where you close above the 10 SMA, but what happens? You open underneath, right? It's showing that the trend is aggressively to the upside and the price action is actually struggling to keep up with it right now. So it does show some sort of weakness. We may perhaps test 6,386 over here, and I do have more. I have basically not most of my short position, but partial of my position left. I will not be taking profits. I'll actually hold on to that, hoping for a move all the way down to 5,607. If it does come, it does come. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay, I'm invalidated on my trade. If we start closing candles back on over 6,755, since I will be out of the house today, I actually do have a hard stop right above this wick over here at 6,900-ish. Okay, I may actually, since I've taken profits now, I actually may move my hard stop to 6,953. Okay, because, and you guys know how I trade, right? I usually don't have a stop unless I am going to be out of the house or unless I am going to be sleeping throughout the night. Okay, which I do sleep throughout the night. Make sure you guys get good sleep, guys. You can't trade without good sleep. All right, so that's Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and look at the weekly. We talked about the weekly just now. Tenkin is the major level I'm looking at. After we break the Tenkin, we can look all the way up to 8,000-ish, right? Which is the 21 EMA. If we actually start closing candles above that too, I do think we may actually get all the way up to Kijun, and this would be Bitcoin simply V-bottom reversing, and I do not understand how that can happen. Where is all of this money come from? But again, I don't want to, the charts are telling us what the charts tell us, but I do not think Bitcoin just V-bottom recoveries over here. It does not make sense to me. It just does not make sense to me. But hey, if there's anybody who could do it, it would be Bitcoin, right? What's the narrative over here that people seem to have just dumped that narrative when we broke over here? The narrative is, hey, people are finally realizing that Bitcoin is the future, right? US is printing so much money, blah blah blah. But where are people getting all of this money to put it into Bitcoin? And are people actually concerned about buying Bitcoin right now? There's so much other shit to worry about, guys. There are people who are actually struggling to get enough groceries to feed their family. Do you think the rich countries, which are likely the countries that are going to drive this market higher before the rest of the market enters, you think they are concerned about entering Bitcoin? I don't see how this happens. Okay, hedge funds are going to be risk off and be very, very cautious. Retailers, do you think they're feeling the pressure to buy Bitcoin? I don't think so. I think they just want to be able to feed their families right now. Okay, I think people are just concerned about job losses and food on the table. Man, I'm freaking completely financially fine, and I'm worried about food on the table because there's no one to buy from anymore. Everybody's running out of food. So it's just like, my concern is not even Bitcoin anymore, man. I just want to like I want to stick to my diet. I want to stick to my diet. It's going to be hard to stick to my diet under these circumstances. Okay, so Bitcoin on the weekly, until we start crossing these levels over here, I'm not going to be too bullish, man. Daily is actually not looking too bad at all. If we can actually confirm another daily 21 EMA candle right over here, this Tenkin over here kind of threw me off now on BitMEX. So perhaps I should have waited to take my profits over here. Nah, Sean, don't get greedy. It's good enough. I'm risk free now for the rest of the trade, so I'll just let the rest ride. If we do lose this area over here, guys, I do think we come and test a 10 SMA again at 6,009. Let's go through the lower time frames, because the lower time frames I believe have been getting it way better. We can look at the Ichimoku. Actually, I haven't looked at it for a while with you guys, right? No, look at this template. It's set. So 1 hour suggests C-span trade all the way down to 6,300, right? So if this does see follow through right now, guys, we may actually, so we had a falling wedge, rising wedge, or whatever the hell you want to, rising broadening wedge, if that's what you want to call it. Doesn't matter to me what do you guys call it, man. We've already met the measure move for this, so maybe this is where we stop. Okay, perhaps this is it, and maybe Bitcoin picks up over here, right? So the reason I am not getting too bearish or not too bullish is because Bitcoin is giving us mixed signals. Remember, daily closed over that daily 21 EMA. Daily is looking good. 12-hour daily is looking okay. 12 hours looking good. The 4 hour is kind of looking like effery right now. So I'm getting mixed signals. I am not sure what the direction is. I'm only in the trade because it's a risk-free trade right now. If I had to leave the house, let me tell you how I play this, guys. If I had to leave the house and I was not always sitting in profits, I would close the trade. I'd close the trade. You do not always need to be in a trade. You do not always need to be a trade. Okay. Right now, I can just let it ride. Okay. I've already taken profits. It's a risk-free trade. So that's what the 1 hour is telling us. 2 hour has C-span right over there. We have bullish TK cross. We have the 200 moving average as well, moving aggressively to the downside. It was resistance over here. We'd like to see this start curling to the upside for the bull narrative. Let's look at the 3 hour. 3 hour looking weak, hide all the horizontals, perhaps a test of the cloud over here. 3 hours not looking good. It looks like distribution and it looks like we want to come down further. If we take out this wick over here, I don't think the Kiju, the top of the cloud will be support. I do think we'll come down and take the Tenkin, tap the Tenkin. But that's what the 3 hours telling us. What's the 4 hour telling us? Remember, high time frames always win. 4 hour, remember, we talked about how this is based essentially what I took my trade off the 4 hour as well as the 1 hour, looking very weak. And as soon as we ticked below this wick over here at 6,627, I was pretty confident we were going to come down. The question is how low, and that's what I'm not confident on, which is why I do not want to give you guys any strong opinion today. 6 hour, I do want to look at the 6 hour 21 EMA. It does seem to get it right. It does look like it wants to perhaps test this right here. Let's look at is there anything? Bearish divergence between this area and this area over here. Did we close higher? We closed higher. Yeah, there's bearish divergence. So stochastics may want to go, as soon as stochastics cross to a downside too, I do think we'll see a pullback, perhaps down to the 58 region. Yeah, sorry, when I say 58, I'm talking about 5,800 region. So I do think we'll come and test this region over here with a wick and perhaps close, get picked up and close above 6,251. Let's look at I don't look at the 8 hour, let's look at the 12 hour. 12 hours showing us anything? Nothing that I really care about. Let's look at the daily. Is the daily showing us any divergence? There is potential for hidden divergence. Why do they call it hidden divergence, by the way? Is it because it's the secret? Shh, guys, it's a hidden bullish divergence. Don't tell anyone. I see it to you. I always find it really funny. That cracks me up. It's hidden, guys. It's hidden. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So this is looking more trappy to me now. More trappy. So if you do break down over here and take out this wick at 6,435 on the daily, man, this may actually come all the way down to 5,700. But again, you guys know how much weight I place on divergences. I do not. This could keep showing divergence until you see the trigger. So you don't want to be front running this, especially in the higher time frames. It can get very, very difficult. All right. So yeah, that's my thoughts for today, guys. Essentially, it comes down to this: we have mixed signals. And we on the 4 hour we are showing. Are we doing something with this actually? Could be doing something like this, eh? So we do have a rising wedge, and this points to what, 7,400-ish? Yeah, so if we actually see continuation on the upside, we could very well test around 7,400, 7,500. Again, I've drawn this very crudely, so take this with a grain of salt. Let's adjust it a little bit, be a little tighter. We're using candle closes. Close, wick, close. So we have 1, 2. Okay, so another touch over here, 7,600-ish, man. Lines up with this. Bitcoin may actually come all the way here. But, be very careful. We do have resistance over here. Yep, we do have daily resistance right over there. We did close it. This is the 12-hour time frame. Let's see what the daily is saying. Don't have anything drawn on the daily. It's not. Let's go on to the 12-hour. Let's do this. By the way, quick tip for you guys: I'll talk about this in a separate video. I'll do a video on just trading view tips and tricks. Let me know if you guys want a video like that. By the way, I don't want to do it unless you guys want it, but you can adjust where your lines show and make your lines a lot neater using the visibility tab. Simply double click on your trend line to open up this tab, and then open up this box, switch on over to the visibility tab, and then you can. So I wanted to show on my daily, not on my weekly, and on my hours. So that was that one. And my daily. How's it showing here? Something to keep an eye on. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Sean Dexter. I'm not getting any confidence, any clear signs right now as to what Bitcoin wants to do. I'm getting mixed signals on the lower time frames and the higher time frames, mid time frames rather. I do not want to be taking a trade unless I'm certain on things. I also do have to run, so I won't be able to concentrate for the rest of the day on this trade. So I'm likely just going to let this one ride itself out. If I get stopped, I'll be getting stopped at break even ish. Probably depends on if I move it or not. Actually depends on whether I move my stop a little higher or not. Okay, so that being said, guys, let's go ahead and look at Link. Man, I have to really run though. Jesus, video's already. Link is Link USD. Doing what it's always been doing. It's holding this line here at $2.20. That's a good sign. We likely may actually bounce over here and test this region over here, $2.50. Let's go ahead and turn on the mango ribbon. We have the 200 moving average right over there. I do think it wants to come and test this $2.50 to $2.60. Okay, 255-ish on average. That's what I do think it would come up and test. Let's get the oscillators. Let's see, is there anything? Crossing to the upside, has taken out the 20 zone. I do like that, and we do have bullish divergence too. We did have bullish divergence. Did it already play out though? Was this a test of the 21? I think it's going to come up here, 265, right? And that makes me think Bitcoin's going to pop up too. 200 moving average. Already tested 200 moving average though. I'm a little biased on Link, guys. I'm a little biased on Link. I do feel like it wants to go up, to be honest. So trend is still down though. Remember, cloud is still red. We still need to take out the 200 moving average as the first step. We need to start closing daily candles above there. If we do get that will be the first step. Okay, and then after that I'll be looking towards the Tenkin and the Kijun right over here at $3.24. After that, the big victory for Link is if it takes out $3.45. It starts closing even a couple daily candles right above here, guys. It's going to be extremely bullish, and I think we're going to come all the way up and test the highs at around $4.75. But again, a lot of work for Link to do before it can get there. A lot of work, but that's where eventually Link needs to get to for it to be ultra bullish. But for now, a lot of recovery left, right? We do have like this, perhaps a reversal formation being put in over here. If we can break over the daily 200 moving average, guys, that's going to be the first step. Okay, we already mentioned that, but that's going to be big. That's going to be pretty big. So let's wait for that. And then after that, we can look for our next level, $3.25. And after that, perhaps $4.77, right? A lot of volatility yet to be had on Link. Right now, Bitcoin's not giving me a clear picture, and I am going to be just waiting, right? Look at that. Bitstamp is showing Tenkin resistance, support rather, and BitMEX is showing that it could possibly come down lower. Where's my BitMEX chart? Right over here. we did close about the 10K already, so I do think this comes up, man. I really do think this comes up to 7,000-ish, 7,100 at the very least. The mixed signals. I don't know. My name is Sean Dexter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Throw a like, throw a subscribe. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.